Welcome into the Star Studio, Mr. Brian, one of the
Awesome.
biggest celebrity stylists
Yes.
in the game right now. So tell me,
Yes.
how did you get into styling? How did you get into at least styling for others? Were you always into fashion? Or yeah,
Uh,
were you always into fashion? That's probably the better place to start.
well, initially, when I went to college, I went to school for television production and integrated media and a concentration in PR and advertising. So that was never really my focal point initially. Back home, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. So initially, I moved back home in order to, sorry, a chat piece came up. I moved back home, and my best friend actually created a magazine called Open Fly Magazine, which revolved around arts and culture, fashion, and entertainment. So I did focus on the editor side of that publication and journalism. Then after that, we did a couple of photo shoots, and it really put everything in full motion with being on set and just really being able to see how creative the sets could be and just the overall thought process behind the clothing pieces. So essentially, I was really adamant about focusing on the writing aspect of the publication. But after a couple of months, I really became more involved on the fashion scene. And when writing about these articles, I always would think back about how the pieces and the clothing could be reworked, how different outfits could fit different fits and proportions and different silhouettes, which was really at the driving force. So we had a conversation and I transitioned over to the lead stylist for the publication. In return, that opened up a lot of doors. I got received a call from another individual within the fashion industry who actually gave me an opportunity to work for a client on VH1. And then that really put everything into full circle mode where I was able to really focus directly on the fashion portion opposed to journalism anymore. And I've absolutely loved it since starting fashion styling in 2012.
Nah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I
Yes.
guess what's the secret to creating a signature look for your client whenever you're stepping into this photo shoot or just styling them in general?
I would honestly say that it's honestly going to depend on the client. You have to really understand their aesthetic, the fit and the proportion. I've always been, I'm sorry, I'm in New York, so it's
Now you good. It looked good out there, man. I wish I was in New York right now.
oh Lord, thank you, thank you, thank you. But overall, it's about being able to understand the fit and the proportion, understanding the client, and really being able to understand that everything that we see hanging, hanger appeal is not going to be the right fit for everybody's height. So once you can identify your client, understand exactly what colors look great on them, the fit, the proportion, and their overall aesthetic, you can easily go ahead and build wardrobe. I always like to start with the shoes and build up, but underneath of the restraint of being able to understand the client themselves, it gives me the intel that's necessary in order for me to make sure that they're always going to have a polished appeal. It's about having the signature looks inside of the wardrobe, the coats, the jackets, sneakers that are going to build the wardrobe up appropriately. And then from there, you can maximize their looks and be able to add in certain key pieces that's always going to accentuate the look at the same time frame.
Resiliency is a word used to describe your journey. What was one of the
Yes.
biggest faces? I'm sorry. What was one of the biggest challenges you faced in the fashion industry and how did you overcome it?
I would say one of the biggest challenges that I face in the fashion industry is being able to actually be a household name in the fashion industry. The longevity in which I've had in my career is something that I absolutely pride myself on, being able to transition from a stylist to a designer and being able to have it received appropriately within the chains in which it has been absolutely phenomenal. I've been working on a project that has not been any information released on lately, but you know, to have artists that I've always dreamed of working with, being able to reach out to me and being able to actually have them receive not only my talent, but understand that we connect on a energetic level is vitally important so that we can always have the understanding of really being able to zone in on what's necessary, not only from the stylist standpoint and the client standpoint, but the energy that's necessary as well to understand that the relationship has to be built upon.
Let's get a little bit into your collection, BDR Black. It's now
Yes.
sold at Bloomingdale's and Lenox Mall. Man, that's
Yes,
huge.
sir. Yes, yes,
Congratulations.
yes. Thank
What was
you. I
the
appreciate that.
Very welcome, sir. What was the inspiration behind the collection and how does it reflect your style?
The inspiration for the collection was definitely living in New York City. Being able to always be out and about and being able to utilize athleisure wear to its
Yep.
full capability, being able to understand how to make a look polished by being able to incorporate just certain key pieces that can go from athleisure to 9 to 5 to ready to wear. So when I did my first collection with being on a lot of sets, with being a wardrobe stylist, black is always what we tend to go to. So I wanted to be able to make black not only a staple, but be able to make it trendy but classic. I like to make looks that are not only going to be now in the trend, but are going to have longevity. You'll have the capability of being able to look back at them 20 years from now and not knowing if it just came out or if it's something that you got many, 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 many moons ago. So classic is
Timeless.
always a timeless, classic, and refined appeal is always the key essentials when it comes to not only my wardrobe styling, but design pieces in which I like to make as well.
Man, look, that's couldn't have said it better myself.
No, but it's super important because trends are phenomenal, but
Absolutely.
trends are revolving. 90s trends always come back. The trends always come back, but it's always about being able to create signature pieces that you can wear regardless of the times, and they'll never be out of style.
So, you worked with some huge names, like
Oh, thank you.
some huge names. You want to know who my favorite is?
Oh, wow. Yes, sir.
It's gonna catch you as a surprise too, because I know you're not thinking this one. Elle
Uh-oh.
Varner.
Oh,
That was like my childhood crush. I ain't gonna
wow.
lie, like I love her.
Yes.
You know what I mean? How was it
Yes.
working with her? Speak on her and who she was and how she was dealing with her.
I loved the overall aesthetic of Elle Varner. Elle Varner,
Oh,
super down to earth, very polished. It's like having a it's funny because it's like having a conversation with your favorite cousin. Being able to just sit back and just literally have those amazing engagement moments. So we embarked on an amazing experience when she had a tour in DC, paired with Neo and Miguel. And through that experience, not only was I able to really have an amazing time with her, but also those other two artists. But really, after having her off stage and just being able to connect and understand where she was looking to go with her style, it really gave me the capability of really being able to connect with her, not only on a business level, but a personal level, which I said is very important. So she just overall is an amazing person and just really had a great spirit and was totally down to party afterwards and just have an amazing time. I remember being out very, very, very late with Miss Elvana. So yeah, she's a great time. And then also an amazing artist. Like, I still bump her on my
great
playlist to this
artist.
day.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yeah. So she's definitely someone that was very, very, very a good milestone in my career because even though I've been styling for quite some time, she was in the beginning stages for me where I was still trying to get out exactly how I wanted my aesthetic to be, exactly how I wanted my overall catalog, and how I was going to present myself to the world. So I also appreciate her team being able to take a chance on me and really being able to be receptive of the looks that I brought to the table.
man, she's beautiful. She could sing and she's
She
nice,
is
man. She's the whole package. I love to hear
she's
that.
she's absolutely beautiful and has an amazing spirit. So it brings together the whole package full circle.
Yes, sir. Who has been another client of yours that was a favorite of yours to style, or maybe was a very intriguing experience?
I've definitely enjoyed a lot of experiences that I've had with clients. I enjoyed the aspect of being able to work with artists that I grew up on, or artists that I used to see on television and never actually envisioned working with them. Like I worked with Notori Norton for quite some time.
Oh
She's
yeah,
actually a
that's
pleasure to
Power,
work with.
correct?
Yes, Power 3LW being I remember being in the sixth grade, hearing her come on, on countdowns and just overall aesthetic was and then the drama with the interviews and the
Man,
kick out of the group. But really being able to get to know her and just being able to really understand her, like she's a really dope person, and then her overall aspect of how she likes to go about really building her projects and just her looks, it's just very calming and a really soothing experience. You can have some very high anxiety clients, which could really put a lot of pressure and tension. But she's really not like that. She's just really meticulous about having certain looks that's going to accentuate her body, make sure that she looks tall. But outside of that, she really gives you the floor in order for you to really do your craft, which is super important.
I
I would
love
say
that.
also Kim Fields was definitely
Okay.
one who was very much so an amazing experience. She gives auntie vibes to the fullest. And she is always amazing just to sit down, have conversations with. And on top of that, oddly enough, she's one of my neighbors, which is crazy. So, we've really had the capability of really being able to just have really good conversations and just get a lot of knowledge from her and really understand exactly what it takes to have longevity in the fashion and entertainment industry in general, which is super important.
For that little boy that want to be like you, man, that wants to design for his favorite celebrities one day, man, give us one piece of advice that he should start doing today.
I would say my mantra is push through. Never allow anyone to dictate what your life looks like. You get the opportunity every day to start over, have a brand new, fresh start. And at the end of the day, manifestation is real and your dreams are obtainable. It's all about making sure that you envision the person in which you want to be. For me, I was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. Being an African American male, your opportunities are very slim. So you have to have the mental mindset and the capability of realizing that anything that you want, you can have. Ever since I was a child, I always knew that I wanted to do something in the entertainment field. But it took me being able to really go full throttle, focus on the craft, and really being able to put myself in rooms that may be uncomfortable. But the reason that you're uncomfortable is because you're moving to the next level. And once you put yourself in those situations, you understand exactly what's necessary in order for you to get to where you want to be. When you surround yourself with the right individuals and put yourself in those rooms, it really takes your mindset and your capabilities of really being able to go to that full potential all the way there.
Man, nah, that was a bar right there. I ain't gonna lie, man. Thank you so much, Mr.
No,
Ryan Robinson, man. I really
thank
enjoyed our
you.
conversation. Thank you for taking time for stepping into the Star Studio. And please, next time you see Miss Elle Varner, tell her she has a big fan at Rolling Up.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We'll talk with Angela today to make sure we get you over some of my good wear as well. Okay.
Oh,
Yes,
you are the
sir.
best. Appreciate you, boss man.
You got
And
it. No
thank you
I
like
problem, of
just
always,
course.
Angela.
Yes,
I
sir.
just
I
jumped back.
appreciate you.
I just jumped back on. So yeah, Toby, send me your size and I'll get you a shirt.
Yes, sir.
That's love. That's love, brother. That's love. Thank
Yes,
you.
absolutely. You're very welcome. I appreciate you taking the time out the day to have this conversation.
Man, get where you going safely, boss man. We'll talk
Thank
soon.
you. Absolutely. I
Thank you,
appreciate you
Angela.
guys.
All right. Thank you.